Thank you so much for joining me. It's Megan from Manifesting Me. I write, talk about, and teach manifesting. I have a book, The Pocket Guide to Manifesting, for sale, available on Amazon.com. I also do customized one-on-one manifesting sessions. I've linked to those in the description box of this video if you're interested. And hey, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps other people find it, and subscribe if you want to know when new videos are posted. So the thing I want to talk today about is our story, our creating our best life through how we're thinking about ourselves, what's possible for us in this world. How often are you aware of the things that you actually say? Like if somebody were to say, yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you aware of the words that you use to describe your current circumstances, how you came up through the world, and where you are now or where you want to be going? If you can't become aware of maybe your own self-talk on your own, ask a friend, ask a trusted friend, or ask your partner, somebody who lives with you. Like, just get some honest feedback. I think I've shared before, but I'll say it again. My husband, Jim, was a great tool for me because he pointed out to me that whenever somebody asked me about my past, I was taking this huge piece of ick luggage that was an event that happened in my life that I didn't love. I mean, it really was not a pleasant experience, but I kept carrying it forward. And that was my story. It was like, oh, this awful thing that happened to me, here it is. That's who I am. And it's not who I am. And so he very lovingly and gently, God bless him, pointed out that I did that. And it was like, whoa, light bulb moment for me. And so now when people ask me about my past, unless somebody specifically says, or it kind of comes up as a matter of a detail that explains something else, I don't get into that big icky thing that I always just used to lead with. So, if you can, the more you're aware of how you talk about yourself, who you are, the better off you'll be. And again, because it's all energy and it's all what our vibration is. So however we're talking about ourselves that's the frequency that we're putting out into the universe to pull more stuff back to us. So if we talk about ourselves in terms of being, somebody who struggled a lot in life and, things were really difficult and we wish our childhood was happier, think about those energies are not lifting up. Those energies are pulling down. And unless we say, you know what? I had to work really hard in life and it taught me to be strong and resilient and confident and to, claim life as my own. That's a very different story and that has a very different feel to it. So kind of be aware of that and be aware of what that vibration might be that is coming forth through the words that you use to describe yourself. Then examine the parts of the story that you want to hold on to and the ones that you want to release. Nobody says that you have to, like when somebody asks us who we are, there's no written rule, I'll say, that claims we have to give every detail down to the month it happened, the hour on the clock. I mean, give me a break. We really are who and what we believe we are. And somebody close to me just said that really beautifully and poetically in something that was written, that we're not who other people believe we are. We are who we believe we are. And we get what we believe in this world. So, let's start making that story more positive, more of that up energy that we're after so that we can start just playing in the vibration of things that feel fun and feel good and feel uplifting and feel like we're really valuing ourselves and that the universe values us. So what influences can you identify from your past? For me, I very clearly remember a strong story around wealth when I was a kid. So I was taught not to envy other people's wealth. And the way that lesson came through was, yeah, they might be rich, but oh my gosh, God always evens things out. Meaning if you had money, well, you were going to have health problems, or you might have severe relationship problems, or there'd be something else that even though you had this great thing on the scale over here, there would be something to like completely weigh it out so that you were in balance. And so for me, that was like a lesson. Who wants to be rich if crappy stuff is going to happen as a result? Not this girl. So that's a story that I'm aware of and that I've rewritten because I believe that we can have all good things in this world, that we are entitled to them. We are entitled to everything good. Say that as an affirmation. I am entitled to everything good. That feels good, as opposed to the other stories that I'm sure everybody has a version that they've heard, whether from someone close to them or just, kind of happenstance roundabout. So I also, I heard stories around humility. So, there was a whole thing like, if you had confidence or you were good in one area of life, don't brag about it. By all means, kind of push any compliments away because you want to, again, stay you want to be humble, and it's not right to be boastful. I've since had to kind of teach myself the difference and what that fine line is, because it really does prevent me from being as big as I believe I want to or could be in life, because there's also the part of me going like, oh, no, you have to be humble. That's the better attribute in life to have, right? To just walk around being like, no, I'm not very good. Again, I'm not saying go out there and boast about things that aren't true or trying to be, braggadocious about things, but there is a line that can be danced on that kind of keeps us in the right energy of, you know what, I have things I'm really good at. I have things I'm not so good at, but I'm aware of what my value is in this world. I'm aware of where I shine. And those are things that I'm going to talk about and, allow myself to hear praise, because I still sometimes have this knee-jerk reaction where if somebody was like, oh my God, you are so great at that, where I just, see, even my voice just then, you could kind of hear me like being a little bit, I don't know, like I was putting a joke around it. But, oh, you're really great at that, Megan. There's a part of me that still pushes away the compliment. And, that's something that I will probably continue to work through for a little bit. But as I've worked through it, I've opened doors to allow more goodness, to allow kind of the level of goodness in life that I'm after to flow in. But when I push stuff away, it's like, nope, I can't take that compliment. That can't be true for me, or I have to kind of play small. Then I keep myself stuck. So I encourage you to kind of become aware of maybe what some of the things from your past are that might come up that are triggers, or are stories that other people told you, or that you became beliefs of yours that are still operating somewhere in the subconscious. Because the quicker we can heal those things, rewire them, reroute those energies, the faster that we're able to go, oh my gosh, wow, my life feels so much better to me now. Yeah, because we offloaded a lot of the garbage that we had been carrying around that we don't need to carry around anymore. So, one-on-one sessions are great for this. Anytime that I've had a one-on-one session with someone, within the first 15 minutes, flags are going up constantly, because I can very quickly pick out what in a person's story or how they talk about themselves and what they want is serving as a block for them. Short of doing that again, ask somebody close to you, record yourself, like pretend that you're being interviewed and somebody's asking you about yourself. That's another great way to kind of hear yourself, because a lot of times we think we know what we sound like. I sound way different in my head than I do when I actually speak to someone, give a talk, or do one of these videos. Thank goodness for editing on videos, because there's times that I, have to kind of take out chunks and go, whoa, that didn't sound the way that I wanted it to come across. Another thing is writing down. So if you have a future for yourself that you're envisioning, write it down. And as you're writing it down, think about, well, what are some of the blocks to me having this life? Or how does it feel when I think about, this dream that I put on paper? How am I feeling about that? Do I think it's possible for me? And kind of take yourself through an exercise, because you're very quickly going to identify those story points that you're walking around with that don't serve you anymore, that aren't going to help manifest the life that you're really after. Boy, Our words matter. I've said it before. Our words reveal us. I was just having a discussion with someone recently where this is one of my favorite lessons, and it has to do with when we're talking about other people. The things we say about other people, whether they're good or whether they're bad, or you don't have to judge it at all. Just our words will always reveal us. Our words never reveal the thing we're talking about. So when we're speaking about somebody, if we're speaking poorly about them, it's no reflection on them. It's a reflection on us and our need to criticize someone else. So words reveal us, words matter. The words in our head, the voice in our head is just as important as stuff that we actually put out into the world, because again, it's all energy and it's all triggering energetic events to be drawn to us, experiences. And hopefully, we're kind of tipping on the side of the high vibrations, the good stuff, so that we're getting more of that in our life. And who are we? Are we someone who believes in a limitless world, in possibilities? Or are we realizing through our story and how we describe ourselves that we're someone who believes in lack? So what are some tools that we can do besides, what I mentioned before, doing a one-on-one session? And again, within 15 minutes, I could help point out what some of the stuck points are and some of those flags that go up, or close friends, or writing. Affirmations. So if we do realize that we have some stories that we kind of need to release or change, affirmations are a great way to do that. Recording our own voice, doing affirmations, and then listening to those. That's a terrific tool that I think I've mentioned before. Find affirmations on YouTube. Find them online. Find that there's so many resources for finding positive affirmations, and just get some suggestions. And the one thing that I always say is that because affirmations are going to be used, to do the rewiring of that story, to rebuild, rehab, whatever you want to say, give it an HGTV makeover. Just find words that really do feel good, to you, as opposed to just because somebody's written an affirmation a certain way doesn't mean it's going to resonate. And so I've seen some people write affirmations and say and they give them to their audience as this is what you need to say. I look at it and I'm like, nope, doesn't sound like me. If it doesn't sound like me, I'm not going to be able to adapt it into, my patterning. So I typically just kind of rewrite stuff. And I'll tell you what, I edit the heck out of my affirmations. So it takes a while until it kind of gets that right feel. And then just use them over and over and over and over again in your mind to start to get that story rewritten. Okay, I've kind of belabored that point. Subliminal message videos or audio tracks. I spent a long time, 10 years ago, and even as recently as a few years ago, doing subliminal reprogramming. Anytime I feel like I kind of reach a point where something is stuck for me and I'm not really sure what exactly the issue is, those are a great tool. I think I've mentioned those before as well. And the one thing I always caution is just to make sure that you know what the subliminal track is actually saying, so that it's written in the positive and not written in the negative. And that goes to the whole way that our brain and our subconscious responds to information and wording coming in. Emmanuel Dagher is somebody that I'm not sure I've mentioned him on this channel before. I will include a link to him in the description box. He does a ton of great healing work online. He has a YouTube channel now, but he has, I think tens of thousands of followers and people on his mailing list. And he does what he calls the core work, which helps to reprogram those belief systems that are at our core, that are operating, and he helps to shift those around. So much of his work is available for free. And then he has some other programs that are available on a sliding scale. So he's so accessible. I absolutely love him. Again, linked to in the description box. So that's what I have for you. And ultimately, I think all of us have the ability to tell a new story about ourselves that aligns with what we're after, where we want to be in life. And if we can start telling that story now, we will erase the time-space continuum and bring that life to us now. It's just a matter of getting past the stories in our head or any stuck points in our head in terms of how we talk about ourselves and what's possible for us. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, thumbs up if you like the video. It helps other people find it. Subscribe if you want to know when new videos are posted. And in the meantime, as always, happy manifesting, everyone. Take care.